Labor Day is a national holiday established to honor the working people of the United States. Each year it falls on the first Monday in September. For children, it comes at the beginning of a new school term and the end of summer vacation. It's a day for everyone to relax and have fun. Many families enjoy picnics and outings. Others watch parades and hear speeches. Even though it's a time for pleasure, Labor Day has a serious meaning for our people. It's the day we honor our workers, and by so doing, we recognize their accomplishments and remember their struggles. Our great cities, our giant industries, and our rich farmlands are but a few accomplishments of our nation's wage earners. Indeed, all of us benefit from these accomplishments. But through history, the workers who have created them have not always been given their just rights. For centuries, laborers in all parts of the world endured a difficult way of life. Working conditions in the United States were also very poor, and it was only after great human struggles that things improved. Before 1850, the children of many working people could not get an education because there were few free schools in this country. With their parents, many worked in factories from sunup to sunset, 7 days a week. The factories were dingy and dirty, overcrowded and unsafe, and workers froze in winter and sweltered in the summer's heat. Because there were more workers than jobs, the pay was poor. And if someone was ill for a long time, he might very well be fired. The sick had only family and friends to turn to for help. To improve conditions, some joined together to form labor unions. The struggles that followed were long and difficult.
They do care. Let's stand together, workers, and have a union here.
An important advance came in 1841 when President Martin Van Buren ordered a 10-hour workday for people working for the federal government. Some unions were able to get shorter hours for their members. And in many states, unions helped establish free schools. Still, conditions were far from good. Unions continued to want safer working conditions, shorter hours, and higher pay. Sometimes these demands were met. But in most cases, they were not, and workers organized strikes. During a strike, workers stay away from their jobs, hoping to force employers to meet their demands. There were many strikes in the United States, and usually they were violent. Sometimes they lasted for weeks and even months. Employers often hired new non-union workers to avoid meeting their employees' demands. The bloodshed and violence caused havoc for many. Still, the labor movement grew stronger, along with the growth of business and industry. At first, unions were small, and members usually belonged to the same trade. They won some improvements, and they made people aware of workers' needs and rights. Then, in 1869, the Knights of Labor was formed. This was the first huge labor organization in this country. Open to all working people, it was a secret group with secret passwords and ceremonies. One of its most active leaders, Peter J. McGuire, president of the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, was first to propose a holiday honoring labor. Because there were already holidays representing the religious, government, and military spirits of the United States, McGuire felt there should be a day honoring its industrial spirit. The first Labor Day parade was held in New York City in 1882. It was a huge success and greatly dramatized workers' demands. It was suggested that the holiday fall on the first Monday in September, a nice time of year, midway between the 4th of July and Thanksgiving. Soon afterwards, the Congress moved to establish a national labor holiday. 36 states had already set aside a special day. Finally, on June 28, 1894, President Grover Cleveland signed the bill making the first Monday in September a national holiday. For the benefit of working men, he said, and the equality and dignity of labor. With the coming of a new century, the labor movement continued to grow, and in 1886, the American Federation of Labor was formed. Under the leadership of Samuel Gompers, it joined together individual craft unions like carpenters, plumbers, cigar makers, and the like. Because it was made up of small groups devoted to special crafts, it differed from the huge knights of labor. As the AFL grew and flourished, the prestige and well-being of the nation's working force dramatically improved. Then in 1938, the CIO, or Congress of Industrial Organizations, came into being. This group included workers in giant industries like steel, coal, and automobiles. In 1955, the AFL and the CIO joined into one union, which is the largest labor organization in the United States today. The labor movement has become very strong in this country, and businessmen have learned to respect its importance. Today, when there are differences between workers and employers, their representatives use new methods to deal with problems. Even though there are still strikes in this country, the strike is no longer the only means for improving working conditions. Strikes present grave hardships to business and labor. And because striking workers do not receive wages, unions have had to build up special funds to provide them with money for food, rent, clothing, and other necessities. Today, differences are often worked out through discussions between labor and management. This is called collective bargaining. Employers are usually willing to meet many worker demands because they have come to realize it's in their own best interest. And labor leaders have also become aware that their best hope for getting higher wages and better conditions is through prosperous business. The United States is not the only nation to have a labor holiday. Many nations celebrate Labor Day on May 1st. These celebrations often take a different form. Many workers use their Labor Day to protest against poor working conditions and other injustices. In the United States, we have learned to respect hard, honest toil. Our Labor Day is a time to dignify work. It's also a time to pause and relax and renew our belief that the work of each of us contributes to the greatness of us all.